Get your popcorn, drama ensues. Time to start calling out actors across the entirety of the VA claim space. Now, you may have seen this talks of legislation and bills that are being introduced into the VA claim space, and people are always asking, are you accredited? Are you not accredited? What does accreditation mean? What does the space need to be able to make sure bad actors, fraudsters, do not take advantage of veterans unknowingly or are not preyed upon by predatory ways and tactics and marketing schemes of organizations out there acting unscrupulously? Okay, great. With that being said and done, let's talk about the few different bills that are introduced, and I'm going to share where I sit and VNCC, right, Veterans Network Champions Club, sits and supports. We'll start with this. Attorney General Moody urges Congress to pass the Guard VA benefits. You may have heard of it, right? If you haven't, here it is. Not going to deep dive into the bill, just the highlights. They talk about some things that we all know, right? All the things that politicians love to do to get our attention, right? We're looking at our veterans that sacrifice so much for our freedoms. They should be able to access benefits they earn without being preyed upon by bad actors. Let's not focus on the fact that the system, the VA, is broken, and the VA OIG has found countless instances where they have failed to do what they're supposed to do. 68% of the time having erroneous decisions on claims, or 66% of the time having reevaluations that were not warranted. So let's not touch on that. The bad actors, got it. Makes sense, not against it. However, this is the part where I have to call out BS. The coalition urges in the letter that without accountability, unlicensed actors can advertise coaching and consulting services that are purportedly superior to free services offered by approved actors such as VSOs, claim agents, and attorneys. Check. In reality, they say, veterans do all the work and the unsolicited actors may only answer questions or advise. May happen. And other points here, though, this is the part where I think it's complete falsitude. Many unapproved actors never contact veterans once the claim is finished. VSOs do that. Approved veteran service officers, claim agents, and others, on the other hand, do all the required work. If you're waiting 6 weeks to talk to your VSO and you only get in there for 10 minutes and they tell you to file for everything, that's not this. They remain available to the veteran. How? Additionally, unlicensed actors do not have access to VA systems. Some VSOs don't either. Some require veterans to share login information. The ones that do that should be slammed. Passwords, logins, and even bank information. That's pension poaching, things like that. Stop it. You're whitewashing things here. Or fees can be immediately withdrawn before the veteran even learns their claim. Again, you're cherry picking things, but the reality is that VSOs do not do this thing. Stop it. It's a hard enough time to find a good one, and for them to be there the whole time, incorrect. So I actually, here at VNCC, support HR 1822, the PLUS Act. Now, the reason I bring up the PLUS Act here is because what about options? And that's what's missing in the GUARD Act. It's get out these people, no one should work around this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I understand. But here we're looking at something different. Here we have a bipartisan legislation that looks at safeguarding veterans from fraud, abuse, and bad actors who seek to take advantage of those seeking VA disability benefits. The bill will also protect veterans' right, here it is, to seek private assistance when seeking benefits if they so choose. We have to realize that it is a wicked problem in VA claims. Instead of restricting options for veterans, we need to open the doors for more vetted actors to be able to actually help. It's not, oh, should I do this or should I do that? You should be able to choose. I like options. Options to me make sense. I like this part here. Again, we also have Senator John Kennedy, who is supportive. So in this instance, we have Representative Bergman, Correa, and Mace, who are behind this bill, introducing and championing this bill. I like this little snippet here that will work to be able to hit the highlight points. The government should not stand in the way of a veteran's ability to get the most out of their VA benefits. Where's the lie? The PLUS Act for veterans would protect veterans. We're not saying we're not against that. Access to private organizations, right, to help them file claims and impose criminal penalties to fraudsters. Now, understand this. Imposing criminal penalties, as you see down here, the highlights of the bill, imposing criminal penalties and fines on unaccredited individuals or businesses for directly or indirectly soliciting, contracting for, or charging, receiving a fee or compensation with respect to preparation, presentation, prosecution, 3Ps, when it comes to VA claim benefits. Capping legislative fees that private providers can collect, allowing private groups to charge fees only when the claim is successful. Groups out there saying, oh, pay us a package up front and we'll do something. Wrong. Right? You haven't even won your claim. What are you paying for realistically? Right? You do win, you do pay. Agreed. Biggest thing here, right? High level, is we need to have legislation that is inclusive, not restrictive. Not saying we don't have rules in place for fraudsters who are actually doing these things and collecting logins and collecting bank information and trying to act as the veteran and violating the 3Ps. That is true. But to say that the VSOs and so forth are doing all the things that are always available isn't true either. Understaffed, undermanned, not enough to be able to meet the need. The demand has outweighed the supply. So the reality is now we need more in the space. So instead of guarding and just saying, hey, no one can help here, what this is creating is a ramp for private organizations to come into accreditation and for the VA to be able to turn around those accreditations, onboard them in a reasonable time versus indefinitely waiting as it is currently. So the fact of the matter is, having the PLUS Act looks as, hey, what's happening now is okay, but let's look at what else is needed in the space. We need more than currently is available, and private organizations are stepping up to fill in the gap. At VNCC, I support the PLUS Act because it's about adding, not taking away. So as veterans, we need options. We do not need restrictions. But I support Senator Kennedy, Representative Bergman, Correa, and Mace in this bill that has been introduced, and we will be unpacking it and bring out snippets of the conversations they've been having.